I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my homies? Hope you're doing well, feeling blessed, having a good day, having a good week. This one's a massive pay-per-view. This one's going to be Dricus Plessis taking on Israel Adesanya. Now, guys, before we break down the fights, before we make picks, we're going to check my bets from last week, and we're also going to check the MoneyCity Champs. That's what we do. Now, my lineup, it was a win. It was nice profit. So that's 2 in a row. And I also got the contender, Lonnie Kavanagh. Guys, Lonnie Kavanagh, around -150. Ah, that was good. That was real nice. So guys, 2 events in a row. We're getting some nice profits. On the contender, week 1, we're getting some nice profits. Can we do it on this card though? This pay-per-view, can we do it? I think we can. Now guys, the MoneyCity Champs, if you see your name on the screen, if you see that, then you know that. That's money. Let's go. And there's so many. Let's go. Hey, let's get the money again. Let's go. Now guys, moving to the first matchup of the card, we've got Stewart Nicoll taking on Jesus Aguilar. And what I can tell you about Stewart Nicoll is, this guy's very well rounded. Very, very well rounded. A black belt on the mat. His wrestling's good, his scrambling's good, his boxing, his Muay Thai. I wouldn't say his Muay Thai is like excellent. I wouldn't say it's like Edson Barboza level. It's definitely not, nowhere near. But he's primarily a jiu-jitsu player. His boxing does seem to be improving fight to fight, so his hands are getting sharper. And like I say, the wrestling's good. The jiu-jitsu, that's his main game, the jiu-jitsu. Now guys, the thing is, Jesus Aguilar, the opponent, this guy's a beast. This guy's a beast. Yes, he's only like 5 foot. Yes, he's got a very short reach. But guys, do not be tricked. Do not be fooled by the height and reach of Jesus Aguilar. You know what I'm saying? This guy's like only 5 foot. He's got a short reach, but the guy's a dog. The guy's got heart and determination for days. And you do need that. You do need that when you're at a physical disadvantage. You know, Jesus Aguilar probably started training and he realized straight away, okay, this is kind of difficult because everyone's tall. Everyone's got a bigger reach than me. How do I find success? How do I find success when I've got a physical disadvantage? When I'm not tall, I haven't got the reach. How do I do it? So guys, he's used to it. He's used to having that disadvantage, right? And he does close the distance very quickly. He does find the chin. He'll close the distance with his punches and he'll find the chin. Guys, ask Shannon Ross. You know, ask that guy. That guy got dusted. But guys, in my opinion, the black belt of Stewart Nicoll, I do believe his jiu-jitsu is better than Jesus Aguilar. The way for Jesus Aguilar to win matchups is pretty much the way that Stewart Nicoll wins matchups. You know, get the opponent to the fence, get the opponent to the mat, start to maul the opponent on the mat, start to break down the opponent with the wrestling, with the grappling. That's how Jesus Aguilar typically, you know, approaches these matchups. That's what he does. But Stewart Nicoll also does the same thing. It's just on the feet, he's a little bit more composed. He's got more height and reach. And, you know, he doesn't really have to close the distance to find the chin. He can kind of just walk down the opponent, kind of stalk the opponent. So, guys, in my opinion, I am going to side with the #1 flyweight in Australia at the moment. I think he's good to go. You know, this is, like I said, this is a mirror match in his UFC debut. You've got an opponent in Jesus Aguilar that wants to do what you want to do. So it's a good matchup for Stewart Nicoll to show people, look, I'm the better grappler, I'm the better wrestler, and if it stays on the feet, I'll just box him up. So yeah, give me Stewart Nicoll. Moving into a matchup between Kenan Song taking on Ricky Glenn. And guys, what we've got here is 2 past prime fighters. Kenan Song is not in his prime, and neither is Ricky Glenn or Rick Glenn. These guys are, you know, past prime fighters. So if you put money on Kenan Song, you're putting money on a guy that is not in his prime. And same with Ricky. So that's kind of what you've got here. However, someone has to win and someone's got to lose. So that's kind of what's fun about this fight. You know, they're both past their prime, but someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. We know that's the case. That's the case for every single fight. Whether it's a main event, a title fight, a co-main, the feature prelim, it doesn't matter. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. So who's going to win this fight? Is it going to be Kenan Song with the power? You know, he's got so much power. Yes, he's past his prime, but the power of Kenan Song, it's always been, you know, so obvious. The power of Kenan Song. But Ricky Glenn, the guy does have good experience, you know, but the chin's kind of dusty. You know, Drew Dober, he found his chin, set him down. You know, Kenan Song was able to drop Ian Gary. He was also able to find the chin of Jusei. Wasn't able to drop Jusei. Wasn't able to beat Jusei. Wasn't able to beat Ian Gary. You know, Kenan Song, he's not a cardio monster. He's not an output monster. He's not mad fast, but he does have a lot of power. And Ricky Glenn, you know, what does Ricky Glenn have? What does he have? He's just here to get paid, really. Now, guys, looking at the weaknesses of Kenan Song, maybe you're looking at his cardio. Maybe you're looking at the way he slows down as the fight progresses. You know, round 1, very different to round 2. You're looking at the way Kenan Song kind of regresses as the fight progresses. I didn't mean to rhyme there. But yeah, man, like I say, it's Ricky Glenn. This isn't Ian Gary. Ricky Glenn's not gonna, you know, get better as the fight progresses. Ricky Glenn's not gonna get dropped like Ian Gary and then say, right, okay, time to lock in. Time to focus. Ricky Glenn's more likely to get dropped and then to go to sleep. So yeah, in my opinion, guys, like I say, they're both past their prime. It's a fight where if you put money on Kenan Song, you're not betting his prime. You're not betting a fighter that's getting better. You're betting on a fighter that is regressing, that is at a stage in their career where, like I say, they're not improving. There's no evolution in the game of Kenan Song or Ricky Glenn. It's one of those fights. But what's so fun, what's so interesting, what's so honourable is someone has to win. Someone's got to win. So guys, in my opinion, give me the power. Give me the Chinese fighter. Give me Kenan Song. Now guys, moving into a matchup between Tom Nolan taking on Alex Reyes. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time to break down this fight, to pick this fight. We all know who's going to win. We all know. Tom Nolan's going to go in there and completely destroy Alex Reyes. And that's because Alex Reyes, he shouldn't be in UFC. He shouldn't be here. And that's no disrespect. If I don't mention that, if I don't say, look, Alex Reyes, this guy's not good. If I don't say that, people are going to, you know, listen to this breakdown and be like, why didn't this guy tell me that Alex Reyes was a complete dosser? Why didn't this English guy say that? You know what I'm saying? But guys, sometimes when I say that, sometimes when I, you know, tell you the fighters are dossers, some people are like, that's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. Don't say that. But I'm going to say that. That's the truth. Alex Reyes is nowhere near UFC level. Nowhere near. Now, some people might say, but Tom Nolan, as a massive favourite, went in there and lost to Nicolas Motta. But if you know anything about boxing, if you know anything about mixed martial arts, you'll know that Nicolas Motta, he's not great, but he is still, you know, he's respectable. But guys, Alex Reyes, on the flip side, is not really respectable, in all fairness. And, you know, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm not trying to be, you know, disrespectful to Alex Reyes, but I'm trying to say it how it is. I'm trying to speak the truth, you know what I'm saying? Alex Reyes is not on the level that he needs to be in UFC. Tom Nolan, yes, he dropped the ball in his UFC debut, but then you're looking at the way he dusted up, I forgot bro's name. I forgot his name, his last fight, but he dusted him up. Tom Nolan's good, you know, the knees, the striking of Tom Nolan, he's very scrappy, and he's getting better fight to fight. Whereas Alex Reyes, this guy's not good enough to be in UFC, in my opinion. So give me Tom Nolan and round 1. Guys, moving into a matchup between Jack Jenkins taking on Herbert Burns. And guys, as I just mentioned with the last breakdown, it's my job to say, look, this fighter's not good. This fighter is good. It's my job to say that. And obviously to give you more of an explanation, rather than just saying they're not good or they are good, I've got to explain why. Now, when it comes to Herbert Burns, his jiu-jitsu, it's good. It's amazing. But guys, what else? What else? You know, is there boxing? No. Is there knees? Well, he did completely dust Nate Landwehr with a nasty, nasty knee. But since then, have you seen Herbert Burns land another? Have you seen him, you know, tie clinch with another opponent and land a massive knee? Have you seen that since? No. His cardio, dusty. He will quit when the going gets tough. We've seen that more than once, right? More than the knee to the dome in the clinch. We've seen with Herbert Burns that he's not a well-rounded mixed martial artist. This guy, just like his brother, is a jiu-jitsu player. But what makes his brother so special, what makes his brother much better than him, is his brother has become a very, very good fighter. He's become a scrappy guy, a Muay Thai fighter. Herbert Burns has not progressed, has not evolved like his brother. You know what I'm saying? Herbert Burns is so dusty. He's so dusty. The cardio is so bad. His chin is bad. His heart and determination, it's not there. His jiu-jitsu is. His jiu-jitsu, his ground game, it's there. But what else? What else? Nothing else. Now on the flip side, you're looking at Jack Jenkins. You're looking at this guy's Muay Thai. His Muay Thai is phenomenal. I love Muay Thai. Guys, I love Muay Thai. When I see the fighters throw those kicks, those big Muay Thai kicks, and they land into the body, they land into the legs of the opponent. When you see that, you love that. You know, I love that every single week. I love the Muay Thai of Jack Jenkins. This guy's the real deal. He really is. And his boxing, don't get it twisted. This guy can box too. This guy can sit down on the punches, but only if he needs to. Only if the opponent gets past those kicks, because Jack Jenkins, he will kick the opponent. He will dust the opponent with nasty, nasty kicks. Now, is his grappling on the same level as Herbert? No. But at the same time, you know, his well-rounded game is better than Herbert Burns. Herbert Burns doesn't have a well-rounded game. He's got jiu-jitsu. He doesn't have boxing. He doesn't have the chin durability. He doesn't have determination. He doesn't have heart and will. He doesn't have a lot of things that you need. A lot of things that you need, he doesn't have. Jack Jenkins, this guy's good. This guy's striking. It's phenomenal. So yeah, give me Jack Jenkins to dust up the lesser of the Burns in round 1 or round 2. But Herbert Burns, he will quit. He will quit. Now guys, moving into a matchup between Casey O'Neill taking on Luana Santos. And guys, I'm very intrigued. I'm very interested to see this fight. And some people may say, hang on a minute. Did you just say you're interested to see a fight between Casey O'Neill and Luana Santos? Did you just say that? Guys, I did. I did. Because, guys, Luana Santos, if you've been watching this girl she's the real deal. She's a prospect. You know, she's been lighting these girls up. She just dusted Maria Agapova. And I know Agapova is, you know, not that great. But, listen, it's not about who you're fighting. It's not about that. It's about going to the cage, showing the fans, look, this is why the UFC signed me. This is why I'm here. I'm getting better. I'm progressing. I'm showing my skill set. And Luana Santos is someone that is doing that. Her jiu-jitsu, her stand-up is improving, right? She's on the right path. That's what we can all agree with. Luana Santos, she's putting in the work. However, Casey O'Neill, this girl, you know, she entered the UFC, she had 4 fights and won all 4. Now she's on a 2-fight losing streak. She's won her first 4, lost her last 2. So it's very interesting because you've got Luana Santos, who's got the hype, and Casey O'Neill had the hype. She had that. So she's looking at Luana Santos thinking, yeah, I've been there. I've been there. I've been getting these wins. You know, people saying I'm good. I'm the real deal. I'm the prospect. I can be a future champion. Casey O'Neill has experienced that. She's lived that. Now it's Luana Santos with that, with the momentum. So guys, it's very interesting because Casey O'Neill, she's had the hype, right? Guys, when you're winning, when you win in life, right? When you're doing something and you're constantly doing good things with what you're doing, when you're winning, right? It's so good. It's so good. Life is so good. It can't get better, right? People tell you, you're going good places. You're going somewhere. You're doing the right thing. Your performances, you know, everyone's your best friend. Everyone's telling you what you want to hear. You start buying into your own hype, right? And that's something that Casey O'Neill has experienced. And that's something right now that Luana Santos is experiencing. But guys, as we know, you get humbled. You get humbled. As soon as you lose, those messages that you're receiving, that's so good, that you love to read every day. Those messages, they turn from you're so good to you're so bad. You're awful. You're terrible. Your stand-up is terrible. Do you even train? You should be cut. You're awful. Those are the messages that you start to get. And then you start to realize, okay, I'm only as good as my last fight. So if I go in there and win, everyone loves me. If I go in there and lose, then I'm awful. That's when you realize, okay, I'm going to do this for me. And even I was listening to Adesanya's interview. Adesanya said, listen, I'm doing this for me. This is for me. You know what I'm saying? So Casey O'Neill, she's going into this fight with a chip on her shoulder, thinking, okay, if you get tired, if you slow down, Luana Santos, I'm going to take you to the mat and I'm going to maul you. I'm going to dust you on the mat. I'm going to remind people, this is King Casey O'Neill, the one that you said could be a future champion, the one that you was lighting up, yeah, with praises. Casey O'Neill is ready to stop the hype of Luana Santos. But guys, that's the challenge. That's the challenge, man. Because Luana Santos, you know, the competition is getting better. This is, without a doubt, the best fight of her career. The most difficult opponent that she's going to face at the moment, right? Casey O'Neill, on the feet, the striking's not good. Defensively, she's not good. The speed, it's never been great on the feet. But like I say, if she can get the opponent to the mat, if she can start to maul the opponent, if the opponent slows down and Casey O'Neill does get a takedown, guys, I've not forgot. I know she's lost 2 in a row, but I've not forgot. This girl's a mauler on the mat. This girl will smash your head through the canvas. This girl is so nasty. She's so nasty. Is she perfect? No. Nobody is. Nobody is. And maybe you see that with Luana Santos for the first time. Because like I say, you're so good until you lose. And now you're suddenly, you know, you're not as good as what you seem. So yeah, it's one of those matchups. I can understand why anybody would pick the Brazilian, Luana Santos. But I'm going to take Casey. I just think if Luana Santos gets tired, I've not forgot. King Casey O'Neill. This girl's nasty. This girl's a mauler. Give me King Casey O'Neill. Moving into a matchup between Ricardo Ramos taking on Josh Culibao. And guys, very, very interesting. This fight, very interesting. And the reason as to why that is, if you look at Josh Culibao, he's lost 2 fights in a row. If you look at Ricardo Ramos, he's also lost 2 fights in a row. So guys, you can't lose. If you're in this fight, you can't lose. If you're Josh Culibao, you don't want to lose. If you're Ricardo Ramos, you can't lose. But guys, someone must. Someone must, and that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it interesting. It makes it a fight for both guys where there's a lot on the line, man. There's a lot on the line. Guys, essentially, the loser of this fight, they're going to be closer to PFL. And you don't want that, right? If you're Josh Culibao, you want to stay in the UFC. If you're Ricardo Ramos, you want to stay in the UFC. Now, Josh Culibao, his defense on the feet, it's never been great. You can find calf kicks against Josh Culibao. You can also find the boxing against Josh. He's defensively bad, but he's a scrapper. He's the type of guy that, you know, he's going to work his way back into a fight. If you dust him up in round 1, the fight's not done. The fight's just starting for Josh Culibao. However, if you bring adversity to Ricardo Ramos, he'll kind of fold. He'll kind of just say, look, okay, you can have the win. I'm going to tap. You know, you've got a choke. I can't get out of the choke. You win. He hasn't got that dog. Josh Culibao's got that dog. And guys, just to bring chess into the breakdown, I've been playing a lot of chess, right? And I'll throw some chess analogies in there, here and there, on some breakdowns. And I'm going to do it again. Guys, sometimes when you're playing chess, if I take the opponent's queen, if they hang their queen, and I take the queen, sometimes the opponent just says, look, I'm done, I resign, I quit. And every time the opponent does that in a game, I just think, you know, you ain't got that dog. You ain't got that dog. You needed your queen. You needed your most valuable piece to win the game. I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? If I go down in material, I'm not quitting. You got to checkmate me. And guys, the reason why I don't quit when I go down in material, it's very simple. The game's not done. The game's not done. I still have a chance. You know, you're winning, yes, but you haven't won. The game's not done. And Ricardo Ramos doesn't really embody that. Ricardo Ramos isn't the type of fighter that's going to be losing, stay in a fight, to work his way back into a fight and have a big comeback win. Ricardo Ramos is not that. He's a glass cannon. And I feel like, you know, you can break a guy like this. And his skill is good. His skill is very good. His calf kicks, his jiu-jitsu, he's got the skill. But does Ricardo Ramos have the heart and will to fight his way back into a fight? Because guys, in fighting and in chess, there's times where your opponent's just dusting you up. Your opponent's having a good performance. And in that exact moment where your opponent's having a really good performance, you've got to find the will. You've got to find the right tactics to bring yourself back into a fight. And that's on you. You know, that's your mentality. That's your work ethic. That's your dog-like spirit. And you don't get that with Ricardo Ramos. You get a guy that is faced with a challenge. You know, the fight starts to go bad. And he's like, you know what? This fight wasn't for me. I didn't win this fight. You win this fight. I give you the win. So, yeah, Josh Culibao isn't that. You know, the guy's defensively bad, but the guy's a fighter. He's a fighter. So give me the fighter. Give me Josh Culibao. Now, guys, moving into a matchup between... This one's fun, by the way. Very fun. We've got Junior Tafa, which is, you know, Justin Tafa's little bro. Junior Tafa. Against Valter Walker, which is Johnny Walker's bro. So you've got little bro versus little bro. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But guys, in my opinion, Valter Walker in that UFC debut, what's this guy here for? Hey, what's this guy here for? I know he's got the ground and pound, you know, get the opponent to the mat, smash the opponent on the mat. But there's times in the fight, specifically at the end of the fight, towards the end of the fight against Lucas Bresky in the UFC debut, he's getting smashed on the mat. He's the one getting, you know, beaten on the mat, beaten in the area that he's good. And you can make the case, well, Junior Tafa also lost in the area that he's good against Marcus Rogerio de Lima. But guys, de Lima, that guy is so good. That guy is so good on the feet. But unlike Lucas Bresky, who's recently been dusted and been dusted more than once, Lucas Bresky got a win over Valter Walker. Guys, in my opinion, how do you pick Valter Walker? Maybe he gets Junior Tafa to the mat. Maybe he dusts him up on the mat. But guys, in my opinion, hey, Junior Tafa, give me Junior Tafa all day. That's the pick. Now, guys, moving into a phenomenal matchup, we've got Carlos Prates taking on Jinglian Lee, the leech, the veteran, the UFC-tested fighter, Jinglian Lee. You know, so respected. And guys, we'll never forget the time that Jinglian Lee was so excited to show off his suit and he didn't get to show that. We'll never forget that. Jinglian, we will not forget. I promise you that. We will not forget. But guys, this is Muay Thai versus Sanda. The Muay Thai fighter is Carlos Prates. Sanda is Chinese kickboxing and Jinglian Lee is Chinese. So he has the Sanda style. He has the Chinese kickboxing style. But guys, in my opinion, Muay Thai is the #1 striking art when it comes to mixed martial arts. And the reason as to why that is, Muay Thai has 8 attacks. You know, 2 elbows, 2 knees, 2 kicks, 2 punches. Muay Thai is the #1 striking art when it comes to mixed martial arts. It's the most violent. It's the most damaging. And when you've got a guy like Carlos Prates, this guy really shows that. He shows the stepping knees against Charles Radke. You know, that knee to the body, the timing on that knee. You know, he's practiced that same knee thousands of times. You know, this guy's real Muay Thai. He's real Muay Thai. Now, you didn't see that in the UFC debut. But if you go back and watch Carlos Prates in that UFC debut, he's not standing in a Muay Thai stance. I was so confused. I was watching that UFC debut and I was like, hang on a minute. Is this guy Muay Thai? Because he's not standing in a Thai stance. He's not throwing kicks. He's not showing me what I saw on the Contender. What's going on? But then you see against Charles Radke, you know, he's had one fight and now you're starting to see more and more of why the UFC actually signed Carlos Prates. His Muay Thai is so violent, is so dangerous. So guys, in my opinion, Carlos Prates is getting better. He's already very good, very dangerous. And Jinglian Lee, you know, this guy's getting older. He's not getting better. He's had his day. It's one of those. It's one of those. One fighter's had their day, and the other one, you know, he's climbing the Muay Thai mountain, and he's destroying people on the way. He's destroying people on that climb. And I believe, you know, Jinglian Lee could be another victim to the Muay Thai of Carlos Prates. So guys, in my opinion, give me the Brazilian. Give me the guy that's in form. Give me the Muay Thai. Give me Carlos Prates as the pick. Now guys, moving into a fight between Tuivasa taking on Jairzinho, Biggie Boy, Rozenstruik. And guys, who's going to miss this? Tell me who's going to miss this fight. Nobody's going to miss this fight. And I'll tell you why. Tuivasa, win or lose, this guy's a fan favourite. This guy's the real deal. Tuivasa will stand in the middle of the octagon against anyone. Any name. You can be Iron Man. You can be the Hulk. You can be King Kong. You can be anyone, man. Tuivasa will stand in the middle and he will throw missiles. He'll throw bombs at your skull. And you may win. You may win, right? But that's fine. Tuivasa is going to stand there and he'll trade with you. He'll trade. And everyone wants to see that. The UFC fans love that. You know, win or lose, man. Are you going to go fight? Hey, Tuivasa, that guy's going to fight. So, guys, in my opinion, that's why we all love Bam Bam Tuivasa. It's not just the shoeies. Obviously, the shoeies, they're very fun. They're very entertaining. But, guys, it's his work ethic. It's the ability to stand in the middle and literally throw bombs at anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter. And sometimes it goes bad. Sometimes it goes bad for Tuivasa, but the guy's a dog, man. Now, guys, on the flip side, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, this guy is so dangerous. I think, you know, the obvious thing here is this fight is going to end via KO. That is so obvious, right? When you put Jairzinho in the cage with Tuivasa, yeah, man, someone's going to sleep. Someone's getting dusted. Now, some of you may say, listen, yes, Tuivasa is very fun to watch, but defensively, You know, the guy's looking to land his best shot. And as he's trying to do that, 9 times out of 10, he gives you the opportunity to land your best shot. And that's why it's so fun. That's why it's so fun. But guys, Tuivasa actually has underrated Muay Thai. Some people think he's just, you know, throw punches. That's it. He's a bar fighter. But he's not just that. The guy actually has very underrated Muay Thai. Look at the calf kicks. What is that? That's Muay Thai. Look at the elbows against the fence, against Derek Lewis. What is that? That's Muay Thai. The guy has good Muay Thai. But he also has a real love for just throwing down in the middle. Just trading punches in the middle. He loves that. But Jairzinho Rozenstruik, he's more technical, more composed, more, you know, more patient. At times, he goes from Rozenstruik to Frozenstruik, you know, that composed. He hasn't got the same excitement as Tuivasa, but it's still a fight that Jairzinho Rozenstruik, he can find the button. You know what I'm saying? He's so sharp, so technical. But guys, in my opinion, bam, bam, Tuivasa, that's the play, that's the pick. It's not the play, actually. I may not bet it, but guys, I'm picking Bam Bam. He's one of my favourites. He's one of all of our favourites. He's willing to stand in the middle and trade bombs. Does it go wrong sometimes? Yes. Am I willing to accept that? Yes. Is he one of my favourites still, despite being on a 4-fight losing streak? Yes. Give me Bam Bam. That's the pick. Now guys, moving into a matchup here between Dan the Hangman Hooker taking on Mateusz Gamrot. And I'll tell you what, this fight here, this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Because guys, when you look at Dan the Hangman Hooker, tell me a fight, just tell me one fight that Dan the Hangman Hooker didn't show up and didn't want to throw down, didn't want to get into a violent scrap. That's Dan the Hangman Hooker. And just like Tuivasa, sometimes it doesn't go well. Sometimes it doesn't work. But guys, he's a dog, man. I say that for so many fighters, you know, and that is what fighting is. Guys, in my opinion, in my definition, this isn't a fact. This is my opinion from watching, you know, thousands of fights. In my opinion, what makes a fighter is someone that has adversity come their way and you say, yes, I'm okay with that. I'm okay because I'm going to overcome that adversity. You're going to bring a challenge to me and I'm going to stay here. That's not Ricardo Ramos. We discussed that earlier. But guys, Dan the Hangman Hooker, even thinking back 24 Edson Barboza, he nearly died. He nearly died in that fight and he's still fighting. So guys, you cannot question the heart and will of Dan Hooker. You cannot question that. You can question the defense, you know, defensively on the feet, he's not great. But then you get to see the toughness. Then you get to see, you know, what he's made of when things aren't going his way. And you've seen that many times in a fight with Dan Hooker, right? He's getting dusted on the feet, but he's so tough. And guys, if you want to beat Dan Hooker, if you really want to beat this guy, and I'm saying it to you guys like you're going in there to fight, but just, you know, that's how we look at these fights. If you want to win against Dan Hooker, you've got to find a stoppage. You've got to put this guy away. You've got to say to Dan Hooker, look, you're good, Dan, but I've got to put you away. I've got to stop you. Because if I don't stop you, you're going to stop me. Ask Jalen Turner. Ask Jalen Turner, man. Jalen Turner looked great. He looked really good early in round 1. But so many fighters do. So many fighters do. And that's why I say the real definition of a fighter is someone that has adversity come their way and they stay. They overcome that adversity. Dan Hooker is that. Dan Hooker is that. Now, guys, speaking about Mateusz Gamrot is not cut from the same cloth as Dan Hooker. You know what I'm saying? This guy's more of a wrestler. Mateusz Gamrot is way more likely to bring the opponent to the mat rather than to, you know, trade the way Dan Hooker would. He's so much more likely to do that. And guys, if this matchup was just stand up, it was just standing, none of that grappling, none of that wrestling, none of that ground control, none of that. If it was just stand up, who are you taking? Yeah, Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker all day. But guys, as you know, this is mixed martial arts. Gamrot has the opportunity to bring the opponent to the mat, to wrestle the opponent as much as possible. He has the opportunity. And guys, if Gamrot can go in there, just wrestle the opponent, round in, round out, essentially avoid the fight to win the fight. Or in other words, wrestle the opponent to win the fight. If Gamrot can just do that as much as possible, then he's going to win the fight. And I am going to side with Gamrot. That is going to be my pick. But guys, don't forget, Dan Hooker, the guy's a real dog. The pick is Gamrot. Moving into the co-main event, we've got Steve Erceg, the recent failed title challenger in Brazil against Pantoja, now taking on Kara France, who has so much experience, guys. So much experience representing City Kickboxing. Guys, Kara France, this guy can box. This guy can box, right? His wrestling, not too great, but it has improved. His wrestling, his grappling, it's gotten better. Now, guys, with Steve Erceg, if he doesn't shoot a takedown in round 5 against Pantoja, if he doesn't do that, he's a champion. He was dominating that fight towards the end of that fight. So why he shot for a takedown? Why would he do that? I'm sure that most people that bet Steve Erceg was asking himself exactly that, right? Why are you shooting for a takedown? You're winning the fight. It's round 5. Why are you doing that? Well, the inexperience. The inexperience takes over. And, you know, that kind of saved Pantoja. But guys, here's the thing. Guys, Kai Kara, he's got so much experience. So much experience. So there's going to be people that will look at this fight and they'll say, okay, Steve Erceg, so close to beating Pantoja, so close to becoming champ. Now you're fighting Kai Kara. You should win this fight because, you know, it's a step down. It's a step down. But guys, how much? How much of this is a step down in comp? Because, guys, in my opinion, Kai Kara, this guy's the real deal. This guy's hands, man, they're so quick. They're so fast. And that's why his octagon name is Don't Blink. You know what I'm saying? This guy can set you down. And he's been improving. He's been showing up. You know, putting the work in. So, guys, in my opinion, the betting lines decided for me. Give me the big underdog. Give me Kai Kara. Now, guys, moving into the main event, we've got Dricus du Plessis, the champion of 185, the champion of middleweight, taking on a former champion, a guy that, you know, when we're speaking about Adesanya, we're speaking about so much success. We're speaking about many moments in his career where, you know, fighters, fans, everyone, they're watching his performances and they're saying, wow, Israel Adesanya, this guy's the real deal. So many times we've said that. So many times. And, you know, there's going to be people that will say, Adesanya, he's got no power. He's boring to watch. You know, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say this, right? And those are called professional haters. Because if you're hating on someone that's so slick on the feet, someone that's so technical, someone that's sniping you from different angles, then you don't know what you're watching, in my opinion. So yeah, understand that Israel Adesanya, this guy's the real deal. And he's proven that. He's proven that so many times. And Adesanya said recently, look, my last performance, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. So I want to go to the octagon and I want to show people, look, this is Israel Adesanya. And guys, here's the thing. When you doubt Adesanya, it looks like, you know, what he done to Pereira in the rematch. And guys, I've only picked against Adesanya once. Just once. And he really is just a phenomenal striker. You know what I'm saying? The kicks, the speed, the control, the vision. You know, the way he can see things that other fighters can't see. Even fans can't see. Right? Adesanya's so good. He's so good. But guys, he is getting older. He is getting older. That's a fact. And guys, let me give you another fact. It's also a fact that at a certain point, you don't get better. There's also a fact that at a certain point, you only regress. And that also happens more and more as you get older. And maybe we're starting to see that with Adesanya. And maybe that's why Adesanya's saying, look, my last performance, that wasn't me. Because Adesanya isn't used to that. He's not used to, you know, that distance between him and the opponent being closed. He's not used to, you know, the control being so off. He's not used to that. But that's what you saw. That's what you saw. And my question now is this. Do we see that again? Do you see Dricus du Plessis, a guy that, you know, will fight from the moment the ref says fight to the very end? That's what, you know, made him a champ against Strickland. You know, from the moment the ref says fight to the very end, that guy threw bombs. That guy never stopped. That guy did not stop. And guys, how many of us said Dricus du Plessis is gonna get tired? How many of us said that? He didn't. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? This guy's the real deal. Guys, Dricus du Plessis, he's a real champion. He is. And guys, you know what's funny? Like a year ago, or over a year ago, I said, if this fight happens, all day Adesanya. That's what I said. Guys, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Guys, I can't believe it. I'm going to pick Dricus du Plessis. And I think he's going to maul Adesanya. I think he's going to get Adesanya to the mat. A guy that's, like I say, has given us so many great moments. So many amazing moments on the feet. But guys, every dog has their day. And Dricus du Plessis, in this fight, in this championship defense, in this fight, he is an underdog. And guys, I simply believe that Dricus du Plessis does have that dog-like spirit. I believe he is a dog. I believe we see him wrestle at times in this fight. You can't just go, you know, 25 minutes and strike with Adesanya. You can't do that. Yes, you've got to walk forward. Yes, you've got to be aggressive. You can't overextend. You can't do that because Adesanya, as we know, will time you, slip counters. He'll find the mark. He'll start you. He'll dust you, right? So if you're Dricus du Plessis, you've now got to show, look, I'm a champion in so many ways. Not just in the cage, but in mentality, in fight IQ, in game planning. In so many ways, I'm going to continue to prove I am that guy. And I think he potentially wrestles, potentially gets Adesanya to the mat more and more as the fight progresses. Guys, give me Dricus du Plessis and still. And guys, as always, let me know who wins in the main event. Who's going to win this main event? Is it going to be Dricus du Plessis and still? Is it going to be Adesanya and new? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky and never glued to your shoes. Peace.